Welcome to the Groomer next door. You're listening to my mommy and daddy.
And now our feature presentation.
Hello and welcome to episode 26 of the Groomer Next Door. I am your co-host, Chris Green. Sitting next to me is Sarah.
Hello.
Well, we're trying out our new mic right now, and this should be interesting to see how this thing plays out.
Right now we have loudness everywhere.
Yep.
We have people deciding to yell at each other just 2 booths away from us because, they're so important.
Especially with what we have around us. So we're really going for a full trial on this one. So it should be interesting. Hopefully everybody can hear us just fine. We're really trying to make this a lot more radio friendly.
Step up our game.
Wow. If you were sitting here, you would understand that one. All right, well, let's start with thanking our good friends over at squarespace.com. As you guys all know, we have a website. It's thegroomer.nextdoor.squarespace.com. The good people at Squarespace, they actually believe in what we're doing. So they're actually right behind us saying, hey, we would like to help you guys out. We're still nonprofit. We want to maintain an MPO kind of status. But Squarespace has been really good to us, trying to help us out, trying to get our name out there as well. And so we really do appreciate that. Our website is amazing. And I just hope that everybody will come in and enjoy it.
And it's crisp. It's very professional. I love it. I love what they've done. I love their filters. I don't know. I've made other websites before in the past. This was the easiest. So if you're looking to make your own personal web page, whether you're trying to connect with family across the world, and this is a way for your whole family to stay in touch, post photos or whatnot, you would really enjoy this. I'm sure you would, and for a reasonable cost too.
Oh yeah, $7.99 a month for just a personal. Goes up a little bit more, just a little bit more if you want to actually have your online store. So check out squarespace.com, and honestly, you probably will get try that trial, 10-day trial, 14-day trial. I'm sorry, and you'll probably be hooked on it right away. All right, so on to our show today. So why don't you tell us? I'm always one who always mentions what our show is going to be about. Why don't you tell us today?
I've noticed throughout the grooming world, when one grooming salon has an issue, it seems to be the same issue all over. I know a few of my other grooming friends on the other side of the U.S. were having issues with nail trims and people not understanding the concept of nail trimming. We want to try to help people understand how important nail trimming is, for one, and 2, the process.
Yep.
3, the outcome.
Yep.
I know one of the biggest issues, people get their dog's nails trimmed and the dog goes home and they wonder why the dog scratches them more than before the nail trim.
Oh boy, and that is definitely a good question.
Exactly. Or another common question or statement, or somebody upset is them bleeding.
Which, let me tell you, bleeding nails, there's a lot of different ways. And we actually have an easy way of squashing any myths on nail quicks. We have a perfect way. We have a soundbite from Dr. Campbell. He's a veterinarian who will talk to you about pet nails, trimming them, and the quick.
What's great about this veterinarian is that he's saying the exact same thing I've said for years. I've had the privilege of working for one big box pet store company, but in multiple stores. They sent me to different stores because they know that I was pretty much a universal groomer. You can put me in any store, I'll know exactly what I need to do and just to get it done. Not one of those people that need their comfy blanket of their store that they work in. So they sent me to several different stores. Well, inside the pet store that I worked at was a veterinarian. And I got to go on my breaks and speak to the veterinarian. just random questions or most common asked questions, and I was able to get the information that I needed. And it just so happened to be the exact information that this veterinarian is going to talk about.
And that's going to be very helpful. One thing that has come to attention throughout us doing this podcast, just kind of trying to squash any kind of bad comments that have been made to different pet owners, different things that we've read online. This is the way of kind of squashing it and putting it to bed once and for all. We get it. I'll take a Facebook message here and there saying, well, I went to a groomer and they said that my dog should not have had its quick, should not have been bleeding. Well, it happens. It happens to groomers, especially professional groomers. It happens to vets.
So, what happens a lot of time, okay? The veterinarian will probably repeat what I'm about to say, but people go in and they want their dog's nails trimmed. And sometimes dogs have black nails, sometimes they have white nails, and sometimes they got the middle color that I'm not sure exactly what color, more like a brown. The black ones and the brown ones are the ones that are the hardest to cut. The one thing that the vet doesn't tell you that I will is that with black nails, how you can kind of tell that you're getting close to quick is that it's best to take off a little at a time. And then you look in the middle of the nail. If it's real chalky on the outside and you see a dot in the middle, you can take off a little bit more. And as you get closer to the quick, that chalkiness goes away and a defined dot will be in the middle, kind of like a pen poke or a dot from a pen. That's when you need to know that is a safe spot and don't go any further. And then it kind of goes the same with that middle color, that brown colored one. Sometimes you can look at the side of the nail and you can see the quick, and you kind of go somewhat close to it. And then the white nails, you can see the quick and you know where to stop. But some groomers have different types of ways of dealing with it. I worked for a lady who owned this one shop, and she said if you don't quick at least one nail, you're not getting the nail short enough. That is not my motto. I do not care for that approach, and I did not do her approach. She used to gripe at me all the time. Well, I'm sorry. Anywho, so some salons, they just take a little bit off because they don't want to risk that bleeding. You're right, you don't want to risk the bleeding, but at the same time, you need to get the nails short enough. Well, there's no way to guarantee that you're going to not make the nails bleed. So you want to be prepared. If you're doing it at home, make sure you have cornstarch or flour. And if you do make them bleed by accident, take a pinch of the cornstarch or flour, put it against the nail, and hold it there, kind of pinched, for a little bit. That helps, clot the nail from bleeding. Professional groomers have something called styptic powder. It's this yellow powder that if you mix it with ear cleaner, turns your fingers purple.
And doesn't it actually stay purple for a while?
It does. It's like dye. I've had my nails completely purple one time or really yellow.
I remember, I think it was Jeff. I'm pretty sure it was Jeff that actually dared you to do this because you didn't know at the time, and you came home and you had purple for like a week.
A purple index finger. Yeah, it wasn't nice.
Do you want to actually play? You want us to play the clip?
I'm still trying to explain.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
The veterinarian that you'll hear probably have a better way of explaining it, but I just want to kind of go through what I know about it, and then hear what he has to say and find a happy medium. I personally don't think it's a smart idea to trim nails at home by yourself. It's always worth going out and spending a couple extra bucks to get it done. Too many things have gone wrong. I've had somebody bring their dog to me one time with their paw wrapped up in a towel because they cut the nail to the nub. Because nobody told them that you're only supposed to cut the top. They cut it back to the nub. So, by God's grace, I got to stop bleeding with a bunch of styptic powder. What should have happened is not taking it to a groomer, take it to the veterinarian. And the veterinarian would put the dog under and cauterize the tip, burn the tip of the vein to stop it from bleeding. Now, we've had people come in wanting their dog's nails trimmed because they're so long they're scratching them. Well, then you get home, or even before they leave, the dog gets excited to see him, jumps up on him, and scratches their legs worse than before. When you cut anything with the dog nail trimmers, you're going to leave a jagged edge. That jagged edge is, it needs to be ground down either by a vigorous walk or an actual nail grinder. I prefer using a nail grinder, it's a lot quicker. We also do nail grinding at our salon, and it's only a couple bucks more.
And it is beneficial. The vet actually has mentioned, I don't know if it's in the clip that I have, but even the vet does mention that, it is actually a perfect tool to use. But again, you need to know what you're doing to actually be able to do this effectively, because if you do hit the quick, well, you've got yourself a lot of problems. Of course, the Dremel can get too hot, so you really have to be careful.
Well, what's great too, if you walk in and you say, I need my dog's nails trimmed and ground down, what that means to me, I don't know about other groomers, some other groomers can get a little but what that means to me is that I'll trim the nails, the excess, but not get it so quick to the nail, or get the cut so close to the quick. By doing it that way, you're putting less pressure on the quick. Each quick has a feeler or sensor. What do they call it? Nerve. Thank you.
Sorry, I was thinking, where were you going with that?
We've had a very long week, if you can't tell.
It's only Tuesday at this point of the week, folks, and we've had, well, today we had 8 dogs.
Just us.
We had 8 dogs, and 2 of them were bulldogs, which those came over to my side. But oh my gosh, folks, I think, oh my gosh.
And they weren't nice.
What are we at, 15 in just 2 days? Which, I know that may seem like a light.
15, 16.
16? Oh boy. I mean, and it's funny because I still remember my first dog of the week, and oh my gosh, that was awesome. But go ahead.
Sorry, anyhow.
I mean awesome in a good way. We could just sit here and talk about the last couple days of work.
So, to me, with the dogs and their nerve that grows with the quick, if you can trim it further away from the quick, the less pressure it has to put onto the nerve itself. Some dogs don't like nail trimming because they feel that pressure, because you're trying to cut it close to the quick as possible without making them bleed. Well, you're still putting pressure on that quick. You're still squeezing it. That helps a lot when you got real sharp nail trimmers. It won't be as bad, but you still feel the pressure. So if you ask for a nail trim and grind, people are supposed to trim it not so close to the quick and let the grinder do the work. The grinder will heat up the nail, so you do a little bit of grinding, go to the next nail, do a little bit of grinding, go to the next nail, and then double back and do it again. Then you don't run the risk of the dog scratching you. The nail should be smooth and rounded, so when they jump up on you, it won't be jaggedness just screeching down your skin.
As I'm listening to this, I can just think of somebody who's just going, oh, I never thought of that. I'm going to do this now because I've never done it.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow what they're doing again.
Yeah, see, actually what's kind of funny is that I've had the opportunity of working with several groomers, and they don't even know that.
Oh, boy.
There's a lot of groomers out there that don't know these different techniques. My techniques are taken from going to dog shows and speaking to those groomers.
You've also had a lot of good groomers that you've learned by over the years. Instead of being this self-taught know-it-all, you actually know because you've learned.
Exactly, and I'm able to retain the information, but now there's one thing that you'll listen to from the veterinarian about the flashlight part. Pay attention to that. That's pretty nifty. I did not know that.
Yeah, I thought that too.
I learned a new one. I haven't tested it yet. Today has been one of those days where there is no testing. It is just work.
Yeah.
And we got to do a little airbrushing cutie mark on a bulldog. That was pretty awesome. If you guys want to check it out, go to Shadowwood Pet Resort LLC on Facebook, and you'll be able to see the picture of Juicy and her little cutie mark.
And if you guys don't even want to do it that way, you could also just go to our website and look under where we work. The link to the Facebook page is right on there, so you can just easily glide through there as well. Are you ready for the clip?
Yes.
All right, everybody. Well, enjoy the clip.
Hi, I'm Dr. Campbell, and let's talk about a safe and effective way to trim your pet's nails. Why do we even do this in the first place? Why trim a pet's nails? A pet's nail that's too long can certainly get snagged in the carpet. They can break, they can twist their toe, and it can cause them a lot of pain. Second, it can injure you. An unruly pet or a pet that likes to play really rough can leave you with scratches on your arms and your face. It's really important that we keep these nails really short and well trimmed. It's important to know why this can be so difficult. Pets have something called the quick. In the quick, you have blood vessels and nerves, and no one really knows how far that nerve goes out into the nail. What happens when you hit the quick? Well, before we talk about that, let's find out how we identify the quick. On a nail that's clear, you can see it. It's red, it's very, very obvious. On nails that are black, sometimes you can use a flashlight and shine it behind the nail to show where the quick is. And then, even if you still can't see it, you need to guess. And with that, I just trim the nail back a little bit each week. That way, I know I'm far away from the quick, and it will keep receding with each cut. And then what if the dreaded happens? What if we do hit the quick? Remember, I said, even vets do it. You use styptic powder. Certainly, this is a powder formulated to help stop bleeding. It's a yellow powder, and as you can see, what you want to do, simply put some in your hand, place it on your finger, and place it on the nail, just like that. A home solution that you could use for styptic powder, flour. Just find some flour or some cornstarch around your kitchen, do the same thing as the styptic powder, and you should be all set in helping to stop the bleeding. Just remember to be loving but firm. Don't pity him, but don't be too forceful. If you're too stressed out or it stresses out your pet, make sure you go to the best veterinarian around to help show you how to do it, or a groomer who's professional, and they can show you exactly how to do it to make the experience loving and fun for everybody involved.
So that's some great information from Dr. Campbell. I hope that actually helps a lot of people. It is very hard to get a veterinarian to be willing to sit down and talk to us. So being able to get as much information out there to everybody has really been the challenge.
Yes, and what was so great about what he said is what I've been doing for years. The flashlight, by putting a flashlight next to the black nails or the brown nails and being able to see the quick. Like I said, I haven't yet been able to try that myself, but that's a really nifty concept. I've always said that a groomer doesn't stop learning. If you have a groomer that thinks they know it all, unless they're an actual show groomer that does many different breeds for an actual purpose of showing, then they still probably figure out a few new things, a few new tricks too. I mean, groomers don't stop learning. If you find a groomer that says, "Oh, I know everything," they're full of
malarkey.
Yes, thank you. So it was real nifty to learn that part. I am going to bring a flashlight to work and see if we can see anything like that.
Yeah, I want to test that out.
At least on the brown nails. Black nails are so dark that that it I don't know if it'll really work. So Claire found a little friend to go play with. Go have fun.
She's not playing now.
Okay, well, let's continue on.
Little girl, my baby. Anywho, now, be careful of the groomers who, you go to a groomer and you say, oh, well, the last groomer quicked my dog. If the groomer's going to talk about how bad that last groomer was to boost their own sales, be careful. That's all.
Well, folks,
Just be
we've
careful.
said this already. If you go to a place and only thing that you're going to hear from that person is negative comments and what other people are doing that's, to their words, incorrect, this is a good sign that they're probably the ones doing everything that are bad, and they're the ones who are doing things incorrect. But they're so inferior that they're going around spreading this around other people because they can't come out and say we suck.
So just keep an eye on that. Myself, personally, I've had people come in, especially with matted dogs. Oh my gosh, the last groomer, I'm so mad. They shaved the dog's ears. Well, why? Just, I don't know, something about tangles. That's when I say, well, unfortunately, if the dog's ear is so matted they can't get it out easily and effortlessly on a place that's as sensitive as an ear, they probably had to do it. So I try my hardest to sympathize with other groomers, because other groomers are human. Now, there's some stuff that was just absolutely malarkey, as Chris likes to call it, that I will, say, okay, well, that was kind of wrong, or that's not my style of grooming. I would rather do it this way. Now, another thing going along with nail trimming, since we kind of pretty much covered that pretty good.
Well, you want to stay on that because we're at the 22 minute?
Here's another part that goes along a lot with nails. Most people should get the dog's nails trimmed every 4 to 6 weeks to keep the quick back, and ground down too to help push the quick further back, like the veterinarian was talking about. On the same token, when you get that done, you should also get the ears cleaned out.
Yeah.
When you have a short-haired dog, most of the time there's no ear hair growing out of the ear canal. Well, at least get it swabbed out with some ear cleaner that they have there. Or if you do it at home, get some ear cleaner from the store and do it yourself. Put it on a cotton ball. For people at home, I don't suggest Q-tips. That is very dangerous for at home. I use Q-tips, but not very often. Only when the dog has a lot of crevices that need to be cleaned. Most of the time, a cotton ball will do just fine with a good portion of ear cleaner on it. Now, if your dog is a poodle, a Yorkie, Shih Tzu, and such, long-haired, and you look inside their ear canal, there's hair that grows straight out of the actual ear canal. But with a little ear powder, it helps deaden the roots and soaks up the grease and the oil from the ear canal. Makes it easier for someone to pinch a little bit of the hair and pull it out.
Which I know might seem a little odd.
And barbaric.
Because I know when I first did it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so weird. But it actually is, it serves a really good purpose.
It's important. If air cannot get into that canal, then moisture and debris collects in the ear canal. And that's where you get the breeding of yeast infections. It's a perfect snuggling place for ear mites. And all the other kind of ear infections that can happen. So it's best for any long-haired dog to go in and get groomed every 6 weeks. Make sure the groomer kind of shaves a little bit around the ear canal, because when you flip the ear over, there's hair that grows from the ear canal and the hair that grows right around the actual ear itself. You don't want to pull that hair, you're going to have one mad dog. So what I like to do, and you can't and you don't notice it, is that I scoop just a little bit around there so I know the difference between the ear hair and the hair that grows on the face. Put some ear powder in there, rub it around. Ear powder you can get at any store, pet store. And you don't want to put too much, but enough in there where you can grab a hold of it and be okay. You pull out a little by little. If you go in there and grab the whole ear hair and pull out, you're going to have one mad dog again, because that's a lot of pain. They can still feel it. So whoever tells you they don't feel it, they're lying to you. There's some dogs out there, like a lot of schnauzers that have more of a cottony hair. They grow a lot of thick ear hair, and they can feel it. So you want to be sympathetic to the dog, and like the vet said, but firm. And you pull just a little bit out at a time. And so when doing that, once you get all the hair out that you can get, or as much as the dog will allow you to, follow it up with ear cleaner. Ear powder left in the ear can cause infections. So take a decent ear cleaner, put some on a cotton ball, and swab it out inside, making sure that you get all the ear powder. Then as the dog gets used to it, it becomes easier and easier, and then the hair starts growing further away from the skin, kind of, not so deep tissue, and it's easier to pull out. You do that for any pet, and you can keep them a lower risk of ear infections. Now, if you feed them Old Roy, Beneful, Little Caesar, or Caesar, yeah, sorry, pedigree.
The other was a pizza place.
Yeah, thank you, sorry. That's not even good for humans, so I can only imagine how bad it would be for dogs.
Yeah.
But those have corn in it, and a great way to start an ear infection. Again, I've always pushed stay away from wheat, corn, and soy, and grain-free. Some dogs are okay with rice, but not very many. But I think those two subjects are real important to make sure they get taken care of. So.
Totally agree. You know, one thing that everybody needs to know is Sarah and I, we talk about this podcast daily. We come up with topics that honestly, they kind of fall in our lap. You know, we're very lucky because the line of work we're in, it kind of develops its own storyline. So, you know, we're very fortunate. We have like 3 different storylines that we always rotate because one thing is more important than another, and well,
it's like today. What we have encountered today. We've encountered a bulldog that was a rescue that was in bad shape when they rescued it.
Yep.
Had skin problems. The folds of the wrinkles were in pretty bad shape.
Yep.
We've dealt with a highly aggressive dog today that needs to be sedated, not tranquilized, but a mild sedative, just to take the nerve, the edge off.
Well, back to the bulldog. It came in very, very timid, very scared.
Okay, so all right, I had to tell this story. This was an awesome story. I am so proud of Chris here. Chris has this connection with dogs that some people I haven't seen this amount of connection. So this bulldog, like I said, was rescued, and he was in a barn for a while, and luckily was rescued rather quickly. He was out on his own for a while. Well, when the new papa picked the dog up, the bulldog, Bruno was very, very scared, very timid. They've had the dog for about a month and brought him into grooming. They couldn't get a stench out, and it's kind of hard when a dog's been running around and basically filth for a while. It's kind of hard to get that stench out until the hair starts shedding. But Chris was able to love on him to make him feel secure that this is an okay place, that, you know, we're here to have fun. And yeah, you're going to have to deal with getting wet, but this is fun. So Chris paid attention to him. Chris did everything to him. I came in and did some nail trimming. Bulldogs can be a little difficult about that. But when Chris went to hand Bruno out to his daddy that he's had for about a month, Bruno decided to go sit with Chris and wanted to go to Chris over his dad. Kind of feel a little bad about that.
I did, actually. I felt a little bit bad. I was like, oh no, I don't want to upset somebody, because it's like, But I mean, I remember him bringing the dog in. He brought him in the back, and the dog was kind of kicking and screaming on his way in. On his way out, he walked out without any kind of issue and was just happy. And
well, see, they have a female bulldog, English bulldog, Bentley, and she's so funny. She's just excited. She just loves everybody. She'll run and slide on her belly to you.
She does. She looks like a baseball player going into second base. That was hilarious.
Head first slide.
And she was great too, though. They were both great in the bath.
Well, see, I've been grooming Bentley for a while.
Oh, okay.
So I groomed her at my last shop I worked at and this one. But Bruno, he just took to you like no other. He came to you, sat next to you, and you're just petting him, and he was laying into you, kind of closing his eyes. That's where he wanted to be.
Well, let me give a little piece of advice. I mean, this is a little secret for everybody, whether you're a groomer or you're a pet owner. When you first encounter a dog, and it doesn't matter if it's shy or if it's happy, you want to be able to sit down with it. Have a seat, sit down, talk to the dog. Pet the dog, let the dog know that you're there to actually be its friend. It is the easiest way to build a bond and connection with any kind of dog. Now, if the dog is biting at you, that's not going to work the same.
Yeah.
But in a case where you need to take the time, everybody has to take the time, especially on a new dog that's coming in. You have to take that time. You have to spend the time with them, and you have to get them acclimated to you. You cannot. They're not acclimating to you only. You're acclimating to them. You have to meet that bond.
His daddy was a little upset because it's been a month and he's still very shy. You know, folks, it can take a long time. When we rescued Katana in that horrible state that she was in, it took her a good year before she started playing. Now she's a complete goofball, butting her chest into me and shaking her head, doing those Yoda ears.
How long was it until she got on the bed?
A year.
I think it was a little under a year. Or was it a year?
I thought it was a year before she
might
started
have been
playing.
right. Oh, it was a long time.
So I had to reassure Bruno's daddy that it's okay. You're gonna have to give him a few months. Bentley's gonna have to get used to it. He's gonna have to get used to Bentley. But it was just a great story. And then what else did we come into contact today, other than that really highly aggressive dog that wanted to chew my face off?
Oh boy, I honestly couldn't even remember most of them. I remember only 3 out of all 8.
Oh, we had matted shave downs.
Yep.
2 of the 3 matted shave downs were aggressive for their front feet.
And I didn't see that in the bathtub. And I mean, I'm always working with their legs and their feet and everything. I didn't get that, so that was weird. I like the 2 that in the entire time that they were there today, they were, let's use the word wrestling, folks.
Yeah.
Those 2 were, boy.
It was a female that took charge. And
I liked how she would get on 2 legs and do her little wave, the little 2-paw wave.
Hi. Love it. But, I don't know, just today alone, I mean, I even taught Craig a little bit more in detail on how to do a Cocker Spaniel face. Shortened terms, Cocker face. Don't want to make it sound weird, but Cocker Spaniel head. So those are just some stories that we come in contact each and every day. And even as exhausted as we are after everything today, I'm still happy to do this.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I mean, we're booked out until June. It's, what's the date today?
The 13th.
And I'm booked out until the 1st or 2nd week of June.
I'm
busy.
amazed. I'm amazed.
Tired. I'm looking at that and I just get exhausted looking at it.
I know.
And you're throwing in Newfoundlands with that. And
later on this week for me. Oh boy, folks, I've got one week of hard dogs, but
Cocker Spaniel.
It's still worth it.
Bernese Mountain Dogs.
We always like to mention how many how much our numbers are going up. I mean, we are just under 5,000 now. We're just under 4,800, just a little bit under 4,800. We'll be at 5,000 before you know it.
We're in the top how many of our category?
Well, we're from Podbean's top category. We are, I think, number 5 in our category. We are featured podcast from Podbean. Of course, iTunes does not have a cat or pet category, so we can't go into the pet category. So we're facing, a lot of tough competition there.
But I guess from what other podcasters are doing that aren't celebrities, we're doing pretty good.
We are, actually. And that's the thing. When you look at a podcast, it's mostly comedians, TV doctors,
right.
Physical trainers that are on TV. Those are the ones that they're grossing about 10,000 views per episode. And that's just numbers that until we blow up, if we ever blow up like that.
Like I said, if we're helping one person, that's all that matters to me.
Oh, speaking of helping, last Saturday, congratulations to P. Call.
Yes, Pup Tats Word of the Week.
Boy, they did really well. Good job to Glenda. I'm sorry, I heard Kim was sick, so she had to go home, but they made $300 at Kroger here locally. I don't know how the cupcakes went, but I apparently sold quickly because they didn't have anything left.
And April, who she did
oh my gosh
bunch.
April, I know we always say we don't mention people by name, but
sorry.
But she's just absolutely spent like a whole day in the kitchen. I mean, that was awesome. She was awesome with it.
But that's $300 that are going to help trap and release feral cats. It goes to spade and neutering, helping find foster parents for animals. I mean, not a shred of ounce of any of this money goes to P-Call actual pocketbook.
Yeah, these guys don't.
It goes
they
to
don't get
the
paid
organization.
to do it. Yeah, they're not paid to do this. It's all charitable. So good job, everybody.
Yep, I'm certainly proud of them. And
oh yeah.
anytime they need another bake sale or something, we'll go ahead and we'll make sure to do something. We'll try to schedule it to where we don't have anything going on, like your birthday.
Well, that's the funny part, everybody. I actually baked these cupcakes on my birthday, and it was just so hectic, of course, like everything else. I spent my birthday with Claire and with Sarah when she got off of work, and it was a great day. And then, of course, opening up gifts, spending time with the family, having dinner, cake, etc. It was about 8 o'clock at night when I finally was able to get in the kitchen.
And you were doing that while I was washing the kid. So
yeah, so
it was either way. Sorry, it's your birthday, but you either cook or you wash your child.
Yep, either bake or wash the kid. So it was one of those things. I would have loved to do the multicolor cake. I love to do this stuff. Next time, we'll of course put it on our website. Any kind of outings that are going on here in town. And we will get the donation area up and running, I promise. It's been really hectic. You can actually check out, there is a Meet the Hosts section that we just put on the actual website. Talks about you, talks about me. We kind of gave you guys a synopsis about who we are and what we're all about.
My portion isn't exactly finished yet. I might take some away. I'm going to add more. But my hands hurt after the end of the day, so I got to be careful.
Yeah,
I'll probably finish it tonight.
Probably the weekend.
Either way.
Yeah, either way. All right, everybody. Well, I think we're good. We actually have 3 more stories in the tank ready to go. This was probably the best topic for the day.
Yeah, we have enough for other episodes that we'll release later.
Yeah, we'll come up with more stuff. We have more stuff.
It will be like animal hoarding.
Yep.
How to cut back on your spending in order to afford your dogs better food to keep them happy and healthy.
I know we have an open invitation to go to Bland and talk to that one lady, but we haven't set that up.
We need to get out to Bland and speak to a veterinarian that does low-cost spay and neutering. She already said it was okay for us to go speak to her, and she's looking forward to it. It's just we got to get out there. And yes, there is a place called Bland, Missouri, for all those folks that don't live in the U.S. or live in Missouri.
Yeah, there's a lot of places out here that you'd be surprised. But yeah, we have a lot of things in the work. It's just, unfortunately, work is our, pays our bills. This is what we do to give back to the world, I guess. Our community, the world, This is all, all for free.
And there's other exciting things that we're going to do to help out P-Call. But that I had to make sure on the weather and certain permits. So we will be excited to announce everything. So I hope everybody has a good night or day, morning, whenever you're listening to this. Hope you have a good whatever.
Yep. Well, have a pup-tastic week. I'm Chris Green.
I'm Sarah Green. Want to make sure everybody knows life is short. Play with your pet.
Bye, everybody.
Okay, gotta go in my bedtime.